see. This is all still new to me, so I'm still trying to figure it all out. Oh shit. Do you have oh, a second. You don't have anything in your like invite or anything, right? Okay, hold on. Sometimes this is a little difficult. No, I haven't.
This FML color. And it's
Oh, here we go. Gotcha. Alright, so I sent the invite.
gotcha. Yeah.
Did you get it?
I got the invite, but it says broadcast this one stopped when I
Okay, it should. It said like the last time, right?
yeah.
Um, it shouldn't. Let's see. I'm just looking here. Yeah, the last one we did is not there. And you know, I can always go back and edit certain things out of it. So I'll go back and do. I'm still figuring everything out. So um, before I start, I'm just looking to see if the last video even got posted. Let me see. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on a second.
Okay, so I just raided your liquor bar, and now I'm getting into your bed.
All right, brother. It's working. The last
Cool.
broadcast was good, so this
Good.
one I guess I can go back and edit it or whatever. So I don't know. Where you at? Did you leave the building? You outside?
No, no, I'm in your bed. I got really drunk and I needed to lay down for a minute.
I got tired. Well, I gotta look it for you. See where you are.
I thought you would take the hint, but
They won't let me come in.
I'm getting really drunk and I crawled in your bed. I'm wearing this little pleated skirt with no panties.
That's cool. Wow, that's
It's a
wild.
loose bikini top, no shoes.
All right, so you know we ended the last broadcast, and then all of a sudden we got into another topic, which I was like, man, we should have recorded that. The last one was like 45 minutes long, so I thought, you know, I
Wow.
might be too long for you. I'd be like, you know, some people want to just bail after 30 minutes.
Oh, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
But the topic came up of JFK, which I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to call myself an expert, but I definitely
Enthusiast.
know more than the regular human being on the topic. You know, I have read everything pretty much and saw every documentary. Like I've picked apart stuff. There's so many ways. That is such a large web that goes in so many different directions. So many suspects. So many things. What I am
So
all
many reasons. Yeah.
yeah, I am 100% sure with I guess most Americans who believe that Lee Harvey Oswald did not do that by himself. He had help. He was not alone in this. But so we were discussing. There's a famous photograph right after the assassination that they went into a rail yard that was nearby and gathered these so-called hobos and rounded them up and interviewed them, which, by the way, there's no record of their interview. Nobody wrote
Imagine
anything
that.
down. Yeah, imagine that. But when you look at the photograph, okay, two of the people in that photograph are identified, okay? One of them is E. Howard Hunt, which I'll explain who he is in a moment, but he is ex-CIA. At the time he was with the CIA. In the foreground of the photograph is a photo in that photograph is captured his wife who is a supervisor for in the CIA. E. Howard Hunt's wife is in the
Huh.
photograph. And she is known CIA. This is all documented. This is not like, I'm just making some shit up. Do your own research, go look and whatever. I've done the
Right.
footwork for you. Trust me on this. And her name was Dorothy, if I'm not mistaken. Now, E. Howard Hunt uh, eventually went on to work for the Nixon administration and got caught up in the whole Watergate scandal. And if you don't know what that is, you should go
Yep.
look that up. We
Familiar
grew
with
up in
that.
that. Yeah, we grew
We
up in that
did.
era,
Yeah.
so we know. And he was
We've
wrapped
seen
up.
it on TV.
Right,
Yeah.
he was one of the guys that they put on trial. He was one of the guys that broke into the office and he got caught. And the Nixon administration tried to distance themselves from him because he was this is bad for Nixon. And so his his deal was he ended up going like well his let me backtrack a little bit here. So on his E. Howard Hunt on his deathbed, he made a confession. He made a tape and he sent it to his son as he was dying. Like his son didn't know about this until after his death, and he received this envelope with a tape in it, and it's his father giving a confession as to what happened. And he was it was an operation. It was a CIA operation, and it was called the Big Event, right? And he was in on it.
Hmm.
He said he was a bench warmer in the big event. So basically he was back up, maybe he was, like helping these people get away or whatever he was doing, distractions or whatever he was doing,
Right.
but he was there for a purpose. Now, as this whole thing's going on with the Watergate scandal and Howard Hunt is about to be put on trial for the Watergate thing, they distanced themselves from him and they cut off funds. And he needed money for lawyers. He needed money to live. They basically just dumped him. And he was like calling the White House. Uh, Cord Meyer was an assistant to the president, and he had connections to him, so he was calling him all the time. And there's recordings on YouTube. You can go and look them up where they're actually having conversations and they're talking about stuff. And at one point in one of the conversations, he starts to talk about something that Cord Meyer's like, well, wait a minute, you can't, don't tell me nothing because I need plausible deniability, and that's a quote.
Right.
He said, I need plausible deniability. I don't
Right.
want to. I can't say anything. You can't say anything because you'll drag me into this. So, yeah, it's just dude. This thing is so wild. But here goes the thing. He basically was saying in that conversation, you kind of hear he implies or he intimates that you got to send me money because if you don't send me money when I get in court, I'm gonna sing. You don't want me
Yep.
singing, so I need money. So he sends his wife, I think, to Chicago to meet up with somebody or whatever the deal was because they found a lot of money in her purse. And when I say that they found the money in her purse is because the airplane went down that she was in. Killed everybody on the airplane. We're talking about a fucking big ass airplane, a passenger liner with like I don't know 200 people on it. I don't even know. I forgot the details, but you can look that up also. Just look up, E. Howard Hunt's wife dies in plane crash, and you'll find that she died. They found $10,000 in cash in her purse. They found traveler's checks. I don't know how much money that was. Maybe $200,000. I don't know. She had a lot of money on her, but when the plane went down, like, and not only that, here goes the other thing. There were other people on that plane that were connected to the JFK assassination in one form or another. And there was
So they put
also,
them all on the same plane and
yeah,
just ditched
and
it.
bro, there's like, and there was like, I think, a somebody from the House of Representatives on that plane too. On top of that, there was somebody in the political realm, and some kind of political office that went down with that plane. And yeah, the whole web of it all is just insane, and you can go and pick it apart and little pieces here and there. It's like it all fits together in some kind of way, and they keep denying it. Like, oh, we had nothing to do with it, and it's not possible. It's one person did it, and they tried to shove this down the throat of the American people. Like, come on, are you kidding me?
That'd be like me getting pulled over and saying, "That's not my bag of weed."
Yeah, but yeah, it's like evidence in your face. You know what I mean? You're sitting
Right.
on top of a bale saying, "That's not mine. I didn't know where that came from." You know what I mean? The
Those
whole
aren't my
car's,
pants.
yeah, the car's stinking. The car stinks of weed. No, it's not mine. I swear to God, I don't know where that came from. How'd you find that? What is that? Where'd that come from?
Officer, I put these pants on this morning and didn't check the pockets. I'm sorry. They're my cousins.
What
I didn't
What
know
do
he
you
had
know?
cocaine in there.
Yeah.
Right.
What do
I
you
would have done that shit
remember?
if I would have known it was in there.
What do you
Yeah.
remember all that? What do you, did
Um.
you study it at all
Well,
or?
no, I didn't. At that time, my parents and my grandpa was a sheriff's deputy, and a few people were in the police department and military and stuff like that. So we didn't hear a whole lot about anything JFK related. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just there's so much dirty shit out there that you hear and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
You
it's not
can't
even
help but to
surprising
hear about it.
anymore.
It's not, yeah. You
Yeah,
can't help but to hear about it.
the shock value's gone.
Yep,
But
exactly it.
at the time when they assassinated Lee Harvey Oswald in front of the world, live television, nobody
They
wanted to
sure
shut
did.
off their TV for the next 20 years. They were fucking
Yeah,
terrified. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But I mean, and Lee Harvey Oswald himself is an interesting character, which he was CIA also. That came out in documents. Which I'm not a big Donald Trump fan, but I will say this: on my birthday, like I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, when he was in office, he released a shit ton of documents, and I knew then, and I've been going through them very slowly because there's so many, there are thousands. Probably I don't even know 300,000 documents. I don't even know. It'll take forever to go through them. People are still combing through them. They released a shit ton of documents, but and they released it on my birthday, so I was like grateful. I'm like, thank you for that birthday present. I've been waiting for this. Like, I'm like, when they closed that case, they said they was not going to open it to the year like 2035 or some crazy shit like that, when everybody involved would be dead. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, why would they do that? There's another famous photograph, and it looks like George Bush, the father.
Hmm.
You know that he was the head of the CIA, right?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he was the head of the CIA, and there's a famous photograph of a man that looks similarly looking like this dude standing there in front of the school book depository. He's standing there, and it looks hairline, posture, everything. He looks just like George Bush. Now, what
Wow.
was he doing in Dealey Plaza at that time? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just some crazy, crazy thing going on there. I mean,
Now, I lived in Texas when his son was governor of Texas, and everybody loved the the governor and Richard, I mean, she was like a household name
Hmm.
for everything she had done for the state of
I'm on the
Texas.
clock. What you
You couldn't
want,
go
some
anywhere
wheels?
without her being on the news or somebody saying how much they liked her or reading something nice about what she'd just done.
Right.
And then the Texas came up for the concealed carry permits, the CCWs, and Ann Richards said, "Hell no,
I'll
I'll
bring it
never
to you.
sign that." And then Bush stood up and said, "I'll sign that," and he was immediately brought in overwhelmingly as the next, governor of Texas.
Yeah, I'm sure he had a lot of supporters after
Yeah.
that.
And then that was the time when they were doing the Brady Bill. What they did is they invested in a bunch of factories that produced stuff that they knew was going to be made illegal soon. So he had like warehouses upon warehouses that were making extended capacity magazines. Now, before the Brady Bill ban, you could get magazines $25, 28 at the most.
Hmm.
After the ban, they were 150, 160. That's his profit margin. Imagine what a case of Glock magazines would go for. Like a crate. you
Oh
know,
shit.
let's say it was a $26,000 crate. Now it's a $26 million crate. You know, that's what he did by knowing which laws were going to go into effect.
Yeah,
And the
that's
Brady bill was just to make money. That's all it was.
yeah.
Didn't do
There's
shit for
always some
anybody.
kind of connection there. You know what I mean, with
Yeah.
legislatures and people that come in that those lobbyists. You know what I mean? This, like for instance, tobacco lobby and even the gun lobbies. You know what I mean, like the NRA and all
Oh,
that.
especially the gun lobbies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gun
they.
lobbies are huge money makers.
Oh yeah, they dropped a ton of money into the laps of these senators and
Well, that's the thing.
representatives.
Both sides do that. Both
Yeah,
sides are throwing
everybody
money,
does it.
so
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and
you're getting money from both sides to be a politician.
it's a system that's been going on forever, and it will never
Yeah.
stop. But I think one of the reasons why they killed JFK is because he did not want to go into Vietnam, and he would not sign the bill for us to go into Vietnam. Now, I don't know if
Right.
everybody knows that the president of the United States can declare war anywhere in the world for any reason and declare it for 30 days and nobody can say shit to him. Like
That
the
crazy.
yeah, he can like the Senate can say, oh, we don't want you going into war, whatever, and he can be unpopular, whatever it might be, but he can legally go and decide tomorrow I'm going to invade China, fuck it, and go into China and create World War III and do it for 30 days if it lasts 30 days because nuclear
It
weapons
wouldn't.
will, yeah, and nuclear
Yeah,
weapons
the
would be
House and the
involved.
Senate would. Yeah, the House and the Senate would get involved before any of that, though. As
Yeah,
soon
but
as he said I declared war, they'd be going against him, no matter who it
they
was.
they were going against him, but they couldn't stop him. That's the problem.
They
But
could try.
yeah, but JFK did not want to go into Vietnam, and we all know that Halliburton, all these big companies, that have contracts with the government. Who else? Northrop Grumman, which
Oh yeah,
I lived in Newport News,
absolutely.
Virginia, which where they made the USS Ronald Reagan. I watched it being built. Okay,
Oh shit.
when I left there, I I left there just before they launched that ship, and
Oh
and it
wow.
was a huge ship. When you drove past the shipyard, you could see this thing. It was huge. But these
Wow.
companies like Northrop Grumman, Halliburton, Skunk Works, all these people,
Lockheed Martin.
yeah, Lockheed Martin. There's a whole list of government contractors, and they all have a hand in making weapons, airplanes. I mean, think about this: if you were a company and you just made, let's say, I don't know, let's just say a flashlight, a little pen light, okay? That's all you did. And you had to make it for every soldier in the military. Talking millions and millions of flashlights, and you're gonna charge the
Billions.
government. Yeah, you're gonna charge the government, say, $20 for a $2 pen light, if that. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a big business. Imagine doing it with airplanes and tanks and
Mm-hmm.
vehicles and just everything.
Weapons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weapons, everything. Like it's a big business. Now, if there's no war, there's no need for that stuff, right? You would think. So
True.
Kennedy didn't want to sign that paper. He didn't want to go into Vietnam. And then as soon as Kennedy got killed, uh, what's his name? The next president after him was, which was funny. I'll tell you a story about that. What's his name? Oh shoot, my head's ringing with this shit right now. But I forget the president that took office. I forget his name. It's right on the tip of my tongue. But
Carter?
no, no, no. It was shoot. Now I gotta look this shit up now.
After Bush, you mean?
No, no, no. After Kennedy,
Oh,
Kennedy's vice president at the time was oh God, what is his name? Hold on a second. I gotta see now. It's got me bugged out. I gotta look this dude up. Uh, but let me see something real quick. Oh shit. Okay. Uh, just as it's coming up, I remember it. Lyndon B. Johnson,
oh
which
yeah.
Lyndon B. Johnson, when he became president, he immediately signed that piece of paper. He immediately went into Vietnam and started a bunch of shit. And there's an operation that I forgot the name of it, but it was the Gulf of Tonkin, which is a river in Vietnam that the U.S. claimed that the North Vietnamese fired on a U.S. vessel, and that's what started the war. That's some shit that Hitler did in Poland. He did the same thing. He said, he crossed over into Poland from Germany and said, "Oh, we were attacked, so we jumped, ran into Poland and attacked people in Poland and started a whole war." The World War II started at that point, and that's how the
Sheesh.
Vietnam War started. Dude, I have a whole list of like I wouldn't say useless information, but just information that's been flooded to me from dude. I'm very knowledgeable on this shit, man. I'm like obsessed. Unfortunately, when anybody brings up a topic, I'm ready to go. Like I'll let you know. This government is corrupt as fuck. I don't
Oh, of
trust
course they
shit
are.
they say. Like fuck them, dude. I got a sticker, a refrigerator magnet on my refrigerator that says, "I love my country, but I fear my government." Because
True.
the first thing that they're going to do when they decide to take our rights away is, first of all, they're going to take our weapons. Then they're going to cut communications. You know what I mean? So we know
Yep.
nothing. And then, you know what I mean? They'll go from there. They'll just starve us out, however they need to bend us. And that's why everybody's afraid of the whole pandemic thing. They feel like the government's trying to take control of us, which I get it. Trust me, I don't trust them for shit. And even though I got vaccinated, I'm not digging it. You know what I mean? I'm not digging it one bit. You know, but they use fear as currency. You know what I mean?
Sure do.
Make you afraid. That way, you continue to follow their direction. Make you
And
afraid,
they
and
can
then
profit off it.
they can just give it to you. You ought to see this video. I'm making them do pump the air. They want to just bend you over and just give it to you. Uh.
For sure.
But yeah, I've studied so much shit on this, man. Like, all right, so Lee Harvey Oswald, he went to Russia, right? He was, first of all, he was working as a radar tech, right, in Turkey, and that's where they flew the U-2 spy plane out of, which got this guy's talking to me. Where the U-2 spy plane flew out of there. Now, at the time, that was the highest, fastest flying plane we had that would fly over Russia and take photographs. They shot
Right.
that plane down, and they believed that he could have easily passed that information to the Russians, because what he did was he after he left the military, he defected to Russia. But not only did he defect, he went to the U.S. Embassy and told them, "I'm a U.S. citizen. I am renouncing my citizenship. I'm going to go to the Russian Embassy and become a Russian citizen. I want to defect to Russia." He told us that this is what he was going to do. And then he went and
Wow.
did it. And then he went to Russia and lived there for I don't know how many years. Met a woman he married her, Marina. He married her, and her uncle was somebody in the KGB. He was some kind of big shot in the KGB. Now, he comes back to the United States with a Russian bride. At the time, this is in the 60s, bro, when they were just hunting communists. This guy waltzes right back into the U.S. He gets interviewed by an FBI agent, which the documents, they don't even know. There was nothing written down. They don't even know what he was asked, and they let him back in the country
Wow.
without like nothing. Like now,
Nobody blinked.
yeah. Like, why is that? Like, well, how does he publicly renounce his citizen and then come back? He should have been a war criminal the moment he stepped off that plane, but that didn't
Yeah, you would
happen.
think so.
You know what I mean? There's so many things, bro, about this whole thing that like just stinks. It fucking stinks. I mean, it's a proven fact that he was part of the CIA. Whether, he was meant to be as a double agent to go over there. I think, when they after the assassination, they said to him, they asked him questions as he's being brought into the station or whatever. Or they brought him out for questioning by the press, and he said, "I'm just a patsy." What's a patsy? A fall guy. Somebody's gonna take the blame.
Right.
That's what it was. He was taking the blame for somebody. I think they set him up. They told him, here, take this rifle, put it up there. I don't know. I don't even think that was the rifle that was used to kill JFK. Because when the cops, I mean, they literally ran in there seconds after, like maybe a minute after the shots rang out. They ran because everybody's pointing to the building. I think he was
Right.
meant. I think he was meant to take a diversionary shot. They probably told him take a shot, and then that way, you
Well, they
know,
probably had 3 or 4 people doing it, and that
oh
way there,
yeah,
if
but they
one
needed
missed.
everybody to look that direction. He probably took the first shot, and then that's why. Because if you look at the setup, how he gets shot, he comes down a street that makes a hard left and goes down the street he's going to be assassinated on. Now Oswald has a clear shot, him coming toward him. He could have shot him then. He didn't. He waited for him to turn and go down that street. That's the issue.
See, I thought that was weird too.
Yeah, well, why would they wait? Because the minute he took that shot, everybody else took their shot. And now at that point, everybody's looking in the wrong direction. But
Yep.
what they didn't count on is that some people were looking at that fence line. You know what I mean? And that's where they saw a puff of smoke, thinking, okay, the shot came from there. Everybody ran up on there. But I think there was, people there helping these guys get away. Like these weapons were put in a trunk somewhere, and they took off in a car, and these guys became hobos. Who knows what happened? I mean, it's all
Yep.
still like, just crazy, crazy shit, dude. It just fascinates me how they got away with this for this long,
Yeah,
and
it is crazy.
how did they keep a secret for that long? That's a long
Obviously,
time to
they
keep
didn't.
us. Yeah, somebody knows something.
Yep.
Somebody knows something. Bitches, bunch of bitches, bitches, bitches.
Somebody will squeal, that's for sure.
Well, I don't know if they haven't squealed yet. You know what I
They
mean?
will be. Yep.
I mean, they're all dying off, man. You know how long ago this is? 1963, bro. That's like how many years
Yeah.
ago? It's like 60 years ago. I don't even know.
Few minutes. Yeah, it's been a few minutes.
It's horrible, man. I don't know. I've just been obsessed with it since I was a kid.
It's a cool topic.
Yeah, I read
Very
about it and
cool.
I was just hooked. I was like, oh my god, this is reeking of bullshit. Because you're in school and they're like teaching you about, oh, Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone assassin that
Right.
killed, and then you
They
start to
teach so
delve
much
in.
shit.
Yeah, you delve into it, and it's like, no, that's bullshit. Even back
Yep.
then, when I was, I went to school in the '70s. You know what I mean? Like, they gave you just the gist of what happened. What they wanted you to hear, and then as you go
Yep.
and read more and more and read all these books, shit, I was like 13. I was reading shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is no fucking way. Who was it? I'm trying to remember his name. He's a comedian. He died of cancer, by the way. His name was oh God, he was funny too. I can't remember his name, but the joke was, he said you can go up to the sixth floor depository building and go to the spot where Lee Harvey Oswald took those shots, and it's encased in glass. He says, but and it's very accurate because Lee Harvey Oswald ain't in there. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, he wasn't there. Yeah, it's just so much shit to it, man. It just goes like a fucking giant spider web. Did you see the movie JFK?
I don't remember.
That's just
Probably.
another theory. It's a good watch. Trust me. If you're into it like that, it'll definitely grab you. There's so many. They point in a couple of different directions, and I don't think they got it all right, but they definitely put some facts out there. And a lot of people criticized the movie and said, "Oh, it was bullshit." Well, that's people trying to discredit it. You know what I mean? You match your
Right.
facts to what you see. And of course, there's some dramatic license that goes on to make a
Of
movie.
course, they got to try to make money, right?
Right, you know what I mean? You want to make it interesting and you kind of, but, the basics and the bare bones are there, you know?
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, and Lee Harvey Oswald was in the Marines, you
All
know?
right, man. I got to step out for a minute. My daughter needs
Oh,
to give her
brother,
a
I'm sorry,
ride.
brother. Do your
No,
thing.
no, you're all right. You're all right.
Do you. I'll stop this and, I don't know, maybe one day we'll make a part two. All right, bro. 10-4, copy.